Hey guys, welcome back to the Natural Girls channel. I'm Taylor, and today I wanted to talk to you about how to eat well on a budget, because a lot of times there are other things that come up in our life, whether it's like me, you're a student, you don't have that much funds, but you still want to eat healthy, not just eat noodles all the time. So I've made a blog post about how to eat healthy on a budget with a few tips, but I'm going to give you just a couple more today and things that I do in order to eat healthy on a low budget, because I don't have a lot of superfluous money to spend at the moment. So here are some of my top tips for how to eat well on a budget. And the first one is kind of forget about superfoods, and also maybe change the idea of what a superfood is. So a lot of us think that, a healthy diet consists of all these crazy greens powders, organic cacao powder with bee pollen, and your smoothies need spirulina and chlorella and all this other stuff. And they're amazing products, don't get me wrong. If you can't afford them, go for it, because they're called superfoods because they're nutrient dense, they're usually antioxidant rich, they're great at detoxifying and cleansing. But when it comes to eating well and living on a budget, they're extra, you just don't need them. So think about whole foods, things that you can get for cheap, and especially things that you can get in bulk. So things I always have on hand that I actually don't usually buy from a regular grocery store, like a Kohl's or Woolworths or Ralph's, and if you're in the US, are things like rice and quinoa. If you can find someplace that has bulk food items, you can usually get it for a lot cheaper. So you can have your own glass jars and fill it up with your bulk food items like brown rice, white rice, quinoa, dried beans and legumes. So I'll get mung beans or chickpeas dried from, if you're in Western Australia, or I'm not sure if they're around Australia, but Kakula Sisters or Brothers, they do bulk food items that you can get for fairly cheap, including like coffee grounds, olive oil, anything that you can buy in bulk, you're going to get cheaper than if you go to a regular supermarket and buy it there. So that's my first tip, is shop around, learn what stores are around you. Unfortunately, eating on a budget doesn't always mean convenience, but for me it's definitely worth it, and plus it kind of makes it all more exciting. So like I said, think about whole foods instead of those superfoods when it comes to eating on a budget. So things that are generally cheap that you can buy, fruits, so bananas, buy in season, they're generally going to be cheaper. And then also farmers markets, or if you can find places that do local groceries, it might be a bit cheaper. But again, it's one of those things where you have to learn to shop around instead of doing the one-stop shop. So other things that comes with eating on a budget is buying in season, which means that you don't always get things you want. And things like carrots are always cheap for me, especially when they're in season. So I'll have a lot of carrots in my diet, or I'll have a lot of, whatever greens are specifically in season. And if berries aren't in season, I don't eat them. So that is kind of the struggle of living on a budget, is that you don't always, like if you're just craving a mango and they're $5 each, I'm definitely not going to be getting one. So buy in season. The other thing for me is I've recently been getting into going into the farmers markets on Sundays, because I'm Fremantle, where I go. They have farmers markets on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So on Sundays they have Sunday deals sometimes at farmers markets. So instead of going on Friday or Saturday, going on Sunday, they're trying to get rid of some of their produce. So there'll be 5 bags for $10, and I will get so much fruit I don't even know what to do with. I've actually given some fruit away because for $10 I just got way too much than I needed. So I guess those are my biggest tips in how I eat well on a budget. Is I guess you kind of just have to learn to cook a bit simply, be a bit flexible with what's in season, and learn to shop around and be flexible in that sense. If you're a food lover like me and you actually enjoy the process of getting your food and cooking it, it's just going to be an added experience, because you get to go to these farmers markets and meet new people, and the more you meet the farmers, or the more you meet the people who sell there, usually they give you better deals, especially at this little organic produce stall that I go to all the time. He's always got like a little deal for me. Kind of, if you're eating on a really strict budget, forget about the superfoods for now. Think about whole foods, think about whole grains, think about buying beans in bulk. Again, it's that added step where you might have to soak your beans or something like that. But if you enjoy the process, and if you appreciate where your food comes from, it just makes such a big difference. So it's a big, I guess, mental shift when you're eating well on a budget, but I guarantee it's worth it. I also, again, for ethical reasons and for health reasons and things like that, I also don't eat meat. So that saves a lot of money because meat is expensive, especially if you want good quality meat. But again, if you can find a local butcher instead of buying at a supermarket, you're probably going to get a better price in that sense. But I hope some of these tips help, and I hope it inspires you to kind of get creative. I know we also live in a time-poor society, so it's not always feasible, but once you understand what shops to go to and when, especially bulk items, you can do a month's worth of shopping and just have it sit in your pantry. So hopefully that helps, and I hope you have a happy, healthy week, and see you next time, guys. Bye!